What's going on, y'all? We back with another episode of Define Your Legacy. And today's guest is none other than Miss Brittany Van Allen. How are you doing today? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For those that may not know, Brittany is the owner of Queen Athletics Fitness. Now I'll let you go into more detail about what that is and who you are, and just introducing yourself if you could.
Yes, I am the owner of Queen Athletics Fitness, which is a fairly new fitness brand that I launched June 26th. So we're almost a month in, and things have been going very well. Outside of that, I am a mom, which is a very important piece of my journey as well. So throughout this episode, we're definitely going to touch up on a little bit of business, motherhood, and just being your authentic self for sure.
Okay. I dig. And again, welcome to the show. So let's tap right into it. Off rip, what inspired you to really get started with this business?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I stated before, I did bring up the subject motherhood. I had my son 2019. 2019, new mom, going through postpartum, just learning myself again. That was a big struggle for me. So in 2019, I want to say like December, that's when it really kind of hit me like, okay, like I'm a mom, this is overwhelming. And I feel like I was going through like a little bit of postpartum. So we get into the pandemic, 2020, stuck in the house with a baby. So I'm like, okay, this isn't getting any easier. So August 2020, I met my trainer, Trevon Cheatman. He's the previous owner of Get and Get Fit. And he introduced me to the gym. Ever since then, that was the start of a lifestyle for me. Overall, I realized like my health is important. What you put in your body is important. And when you look good, you feel good. And I'm still not at, my weight goal, but I feel good knowing that this is a lifestyle to me, knowing that I look forward to going to the gym and inspiring others through my brand is important to me. And I feel like as a community, we need to emphasize health, wellness, and fitness more. So I started my business to help women feel good when they're working out. Because before I used to just go to the gym in t-shirts and leggings and it was whatever for me. But I'm like, okay, I want to actually look good while I'm doing something that I enjoy. So that's what kind of inspired me to launch my brand.
And was there a specific day or moment that made when you decided to launch the brand? I know you talked about when you first started going to the gym and really changing the lifestyle, but for your brand, build up.
I want to say August of 2019. Like at this point, I was just like looking for anything. I was thinking of like Brittany the shop. I was gonna sell everything, clothing, whatever. And then God just was like, Brittany, you're not ready. Like, if you rush it, you ruin it. So I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't ready for that. So then I want to say like maybe November of 2020, that's when the idea kind of hit me. But fear and just wearing so many different hats held me back. So I'm like, okay, I kept procrastinating. And then February 6th, that's when my trainer, he had passed away. So I'm like, okay. It just really brought things to light, like life is too short, because a week, literally 7 days before he passed, he opened up a new gym. So that's when it really hit me like, okay, life is too short. You need to do it now. It's either now or never. So that's when I decided to put things together. I already had pieces that I ordered from like April of 2020, I believe. So that's when it just really hit me like, okay, Brittany, it's time to get to work.
Yeah.
And then I just started ordering different samples again and doing my website and doing my research, of course. And then I decided to launch it June 26th.
Gotcha.
So,
I mean,
which was my half birthday. That's why I launched it, because it was my half birthday. That's
even perfect. That's even better. But you mentioned wearing different hats. So my thing is, sometimes I feel people try to do multiple things instead of focusing on one. So did you ever face that situation where you told yourself, all right, let me lock in on this one thing and really trying to perfect this craft, as opposed to doing multiple things at once?
Honestly, to be completely honest, I feel like I'm in the midst of that. Right now, I feel like I physically can't try to focus on one thing. Like, ever since college, I was 18, I've always been on go. I've always been on go. Like my mind is just constantly racing. And I feel like we live in a society where it's like, okay, it's like society puts this timeline on your life. So it's like when I feel like I'm not here, I have to think of something else. So I'm in the midst of kind of trying to find that balance to literally just focus on one thing. But I offer so many different talents where I feel like I just can't. So because outside of the fitness apparel, I do women empowerment events. So I'm juggling both of those at the same time. It kind of goes hand in hand. So I mean, it works out for me now, but it can be overwhelming for sure, on top of being a mom, of course.
Yeah. But I mean, you're definitely, an example and a role model and inspiration to a lot of people. So even tapping into the women empowerment, could you talk a little bit about that and why that's so important and meaningful for you?
Oh yeah, that's extremely imperative to just where I am and who I am as a person. So before I became a mom, I didn't really know what it was to like be a woman. As soon as I stepped foot into motherhood, I'm like, okay, like this is overwhelming. We don't get enough credit. Sometimes you don't have enough support. Thank God, I do have a good support system, but there's women out there who don't have that support system, and it's extremely hard. So I feel like it's extremely hard for me with the support system. I can only imagine how it feels for the next woman with no support. So one thing about me is I always try to be kind. I always try to find the beauty of things. I don't know what it is, but God gave me the gift. I can tell when a woman is exhausted. I can tell when she doesn't love herself. I can tell when she's not putting herself first. So I'm constantly empowering women, whether I know you or not, by a simple conversation that can just make someone's day, or even just, put a start in them to just start that journey of loving yourself and finding yourself. So that's really important to me. I had my second event May. So it was a Mommies and Mimosas. And I did something for Mother's Day to bring moms together. So we had a massage therapist, we had a doctor, she was a guest speaker, unlimited mimosas, of course, because we need a break.
Right.
So I'm just always constantly just trying to find ways to bring women together and doing something positive for sure. That's extremely important.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you hit it right in the head in terms of like, once you become a parent, it changes everything. So even with that, being a parent as well as a business owner, when you're approaching or talking with a client that may be a parent, do you kind of relate on a different level whenever you're having a conversation with them?
To be completely honest, I've never had that conversation as of yet where I had to dip into motherhood because I'm an e-commerce business. So I do like everything online. So I haven't had that conversation, but my personality shines through my business. So I create that space for women. Like on my personal page, like I have women reach out to me all the time, just like, thank you for your transparency. Because we live in a society and we live in a culture where it's like, okay, I had to go through it. You have to go through it. My mom, she has 6 kids and still motherhood. I still feel like a new mom. It was just like, okay, I had to go through it. You have to go through it. And no shame on her or any parent that has that thought process, but it's like, okay, we're all going to go through it at some point, God willing. So why not talk about it? Why not talk about, the struggles, the beauty of it? So I always like to just be transparent. And that's when I feel like I started living in my truth and being my authentic self.
Yeah. And you definitely feel like it's necessary to have these types of conversations with your family or friends when it comes to parenthood and everything like that, right?
Yeah. Even before their parent, because I feel like you should have a snippet of what you're going to get yourself into. It's like reading a book without a summary before the book. Like, no. And that's kind of what I had to experience. So, I'm always setting boundaries with my family, because before, when I first had my son, it was just like, okay, well, how's the baby doing? Never how are you doing? So like the first week I had to kind of set that boundary. Like, hey, listen, we can't call this phone until we're checking on the birth first. Because what people fail to realize, if the mom's not good, the baby can't be good. Yeah. And that's important. So. Yeah.
And so going off that, I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
What's your motivation behind all of this? Because I think there's a difference between inspiration and motivation.
My motivation, I guess I can say like a cliche answer, but it's just really like the honest truth. It's definitely my son for sure, number one. But not only that, it's just breaking generational curses and building a new generation of healthy, healed children. Keyword healed children. So that's definitely like my motivation behind any and everything I do. Even there are some days where it's like, okay, I don't want to do this. And whether that be going to work, because I still have a 9 to 5, and I still operate a business. So I have my 9 to 5 and I come home, I have to be a mom, which is a job, and then operate my business as well. So I always just have my child and my purpose in the back of my mind, and just quite frankly, get it done.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds, I mean, we talked about wearing different hats. It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, you're wearing 4 hats, right? Your mom.
Yeah, let's count them out. So
count them out for us, please.
So I do have a 9 to 5. I'm in the education fields. I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. What's the 4th one?
I was going to include the women empowerment, because that's a hat.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to include
So
that.
not only that, like you still have to be a friend. You still have to be a spouse. You still have to be a daughter. So it could be a lot. It could be a lot.
Yeah.
So that's actually more than 4.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what though? It sounds as if you don't make excuses, right? So even though you wear a lot of different hats, it's almost like it is what it is, and you keep going. So do you think that's a mental thing that you kind of developed over the years?
Yep. So I actually have to be really transparent with you. Sometimes I do make excuses. Sometimes I kind of use I need self-care, as I just don't want to do it and I'm tired. So like I said earlier, I'm still trying to find that balance, because self first. So sometimes, yes, I experience burnout and I still try to push through, but sometimes I find myself making excuses like, okay, I'm just completely exhausted and I don't want to do it. And I feel like it kind of turns into an excuse. So it's important to hold yourself accountable as well. And it's important to be transparent, because on the outside looking in, it's like, okay, she just get it done. And she don't make excuses, but that's not the case 100% of the time.
I mean, you're a human being, so I mean,
that too.
You're a human being. But yeah, so starting off with the 9 to 5, if you could, right, give us, your schedule, if you will, your day-to-day schedule, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So I have 2 long days, which is Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm at work from 8:30 to 8 at night. Long and tired. Good thing is my job is pretty flexible, so I can like work from home if need be. But those are like my 2 long days. Come home from work, of course, I have to get my son situated. So that's another job after itself. And depending on how I'm feeling, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I try not to like package orders. Like I'll fulfill them, I'll prepare them, but like I try not to do that, because those are my long days and I don't want to feel overwhelmed. So that's just my Monday through Friday. That's just the 9 to 5.
So talk to me about the e-commerce lifestyle. You mentioned before how it's, technology and everything like that. So how's the e-commerce lifestyle been treating you?
E-commerce is great. Business has been great so far. I have got offered to do like pop-up shops, but I'm trying to like die down with that, because that is like, it's overwhelming and it gives me anxiety and I just don't like it. Especially when you're doing everything from the comfort of your own home. Like you can literally just order something with the click of a button, and it's just wonderful. Like I love it. And yeah, it's great. Like I don't see things transitioning backwards.
I'm not mad. I mean, usually I would think people would want to always do a pop-up shop in terms of, promotion, but if you, against it, hey.
And that's another thing that people don't talk about, because I had a conversation with another business owner, and we were talking like, it's just overwhelming. Like you have to pack up, go to the venue, unpack, like it's a lot. And it just triggers my anxiety and I just don't like it.
Do you ever?
And you guys heard it here first. I know a lot of people ask me to do pop-up shops, but I can't see myself doing another one.
What would you say makes your brand and your company unique? What makes
my brand and my company unique? Well, first and foremost, a lot of times people go into business looking for the financial gain of it. The financial aspect is last on my list. When people wear my apparel, I want it to be an experience. So I try to be reasonable. And I feel like my prices are more than reasonable, but it's definitely an experience, like down to the packaging. Marketing and quality is everything. So, I make sure that the packaging is great for my customers. I have like a little card right here. It's one of my thank you cards. It's cute. And it's just personalized. Everything is like made by me. Like I don't have any like huge company or drop shipping company just sending it to you guys. Like everything is personalized from me. Like I make sure that I write like a little note on the back of the thank you cards. Just personalize it, making it authentic. So
that's real. That's important. But how dope is it to know that it's yours? That whenever you go to the gym now, you're wearing something that belongs to you. It's not some other, big name brand. It is yours.
You know what? It's actually a great feeling. And every time I put on my apparel, I actually have on one of my sets now. It's right. Why didn't you do this before? Like,
yeah.
But it feels good, and it feels good when people are asking like, oh, like that's nice. Like, where did you get it from? And for me to be like, oh, well, this is mine.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling, and I just wouldn't want it any other way. Like, yeah. And of course, like I'm gonna still wear Nike. I still love Nike, and there are other local fitness brands, and I'm still gonna support because that's just my character. I love supporting small businesses. So you might see me in somebody else's line. But it's Black owned. So
yeah, facts. Black owned business. One time for the one time.
But yes, it's a great feeling for sure.
What does it mean to you to know that people are now involved with your business? Because I think, right, when you first start, everyone seems to be inspired and everything like that. But when you see other people wearing it, how does that feel for you to know that your work is now being appreciated?
You know what? It makes me feel really good, and it makes me feel like, okay, I'm fulfilling my purpose for sure. Because it's like when I get good feedback, whether that's good or bad, I haven't had any bad feedback, but I'm still a business, and there might be a time where people are like, oh, okay, I don't like it, and that's okay. I'll deal with that accordingly. But when I get good feedback regarding the customer service or regarding the quality, it's a good feeling. It just really warms my heart for sure. And not only that, like these women are sending me pictures, and like, this is the first time I felt confident in a long time. Like that's important to me, and that's what the brand represents, and that's the experience that I want to create for my customers. So that's essential for sure.
Yeah, to me that's how it should be. That's perfect. But also too, walk me through your approach towards your website. How'd you go about creating it and things like that? Even if however you did it, because I think sometimes like when folks do something that they might think is not like, it's not their specialty or whatever, at the end of the day, it's still yours and something that you created and people can access. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the website, and that's why I wanted it to do it myself, because I wanted everything to be customized by me, so I can really connect with my customer and give them that experience, and be authentic. So the website process,
I'll play this. Before you answer that, tell people what the website is. Get some.
Yeah, so it's queenathletics.co, not .com, but .co, C-O. So yes, queenathletics.co. It took me about, I want to say like 4 days. And of course, like I'm a perfectionist. So I'm like, okay, well, I can do this to make this perfect. But overall, I found a way to work smarter and not harder. And it just came together. And I'm like, for my first time, I am a professional. So if you need a website done, hit me up.
Okay.
I was like, okay, like this, it's not bad, but the platform, because I use Shopify, no secret. I'm sure like everyone has heard of that. Like they make it easy for you to, create a template and edit and, make it your own. So I know sometimes people think of a website and they're like, oh my God, like, and they get anxiety. It's not that hard, but it is time consuming for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And did you have any experience before creating that website? Was it just you?
No, none at all. I'm like, YouTube is the new professor. I went on YouTube, y'all, and I did what I had to do. Because I'm like, I'm not paying nobody to make something that I can do for myself.
Yeah.
So.
And I saw your little rant. I want you, if you can, to repeat.
Which one?
Wow, I said I saw your rant. You said which one? That's kind of crazy. But the one where you were like, basically people can learn from YouTube, right? Like YouTube University is extremely important. So if you can, just tell people how they can, use.
You talking about the rant from yesterday?
Like I said, I do my homework. So
the
rant.
Yes.
Yes.
YouTube is definitely the new professor for sure. Like anything that you want to learn, it's on YouTube. And I'm not saying, don't do your proper schooling if need be, but I feel like a lot of times people are rushing to perfect their craft. So it was like, okay, well, I learned how to do nails or lashes through YouTube. And, I'm upcharging somebody when I haven't even did the educational background that I needed. So I'm not technically legit. Like, I'm not certified. And I feel like it's just not fair that people are upcharging other people when you can learn this on YouTube. And no, I'm not taking anything away from anybody, but it's just like, we're always just like in a constant battle, always in competition. Oh, who's doing it first? It's okay to just take your time with things, perfect your craft, and then be able to teach someone else. Because a lot of times it's just rushed.
Yeah.
So yes, if y'all want to learn how to do something, go right on YouTube and YouTube it, because it's there.
I think the good thing too about our generation and the way we're growing up is that information is everywhere. Like
it's available.
It's free. Like it's you just go on YouTube and you just watch a certain video or whatever, and after a while you'll probably learn it. And kind of go from there. But yeah, I just had to ask you that because I know you were very passionate.
That's fine. Listen, y'all, I go on rants, so I go on rants all the time. What you see is what you get. So
lovely. And I have another question about a rant, but yeah, I'm gonna ask you right now. So now as a business owner, right? What would you consider is the difference between a customer and a client?
Oh yes,
I know I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. Okay, so you really did your homework. Yes,
I'm good.
okay?
I get. Yeah, feel me?
Yes, this is really important. So if you offer a service or you have a business, you have a difference between a client and you have a difference between a customer. A customer is just probably a 1 or 2 time shopper. Cool, they buy something, wear it. That's the end. A client is someone who's been with you through ground up. Whether you are doing hair, they was in the room with you doing your hair before you went into a shop, constantly supporting you, referring people to you, giving you constructive criticism. I think that's important. Is being able to take that constructive criticism. So a client is someone who wants the best interest, not only for your business, but for you. And I value my clients because I'm like, these are the people who have pushed, and I value everyone who shops with me first and foremost. But sometimes you have to bend your back for your clients. And I mean, it's a little different with me because it's like I have a clothing line, but for example, say if you do hair or whatever, and you have a packed, busy schedule, whatever, you fit your clients in because that client was there from ground up. The client, has been supporting you throughout the journey. They've been there to see your growth. So that's the difference between a client and a customer.
There you go. There you have it. I had to make sure you answer that before,
Yes.
Because I know you're very, very passionate about that, which is true. I mean, as well you should. There is a difference.
Yeah. And a lot of times as business owners, we don't acknowledge the two. And I feel like it's unfair. And that's where we go wrong because we start treating our clients like customers. And you have to put yourself in the client shoes or customer shoes, as well as, still operating the business. So I'm always doing things as a business owner, but also keeping my clients in mind. Okay, well, how would I feel if I was a client or customer? And that's important, is providing good customer service.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that's a huge part of it too. Like nowadays people might be, money hungry. But you got to remember, who gets put first. If they're giving
gets put first, and also providing quality customer service, because you can have a product or service and it isn't that well. But if you have immaculate customer service, I'm probably going to support you again because the customer service provided me with an experience that I probably couldn't get from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
they're going to return. Yeah. I got you.
absolutely. So.
But yeah, I mean, this, you're off to a good start in terms of like, even with the Shopify, you created on your own YouTube university, being a graduate of that, and nothing wrong with that, and just continuing to build that up. So from the top, right? So, cause I like to put everything into perspective for people, like when they're really first getting started. So you had an idea, right, that you wanted to implement and carry out. And you say, you know what? I want to have activewear and have a brand for my own. So what's to bring it all full circle? What would be the first step? If someone were to ask you, Brittany, how do I get started doing this? What would be the first thing you tell them? Let's start from the top.
Writing your ideas down and setting deadlines for myself. Everything that I wanted to do, I did write down, but I didn't set deadlines. And that led to procrastination. So the first thing that you want to do is map your goals out and attach deadline to those goals. Before you do anything, before you order any samples, anything, map out your goals with deadlines for sure.
With deadlines. Okay. And how if you had to do all over again, how would you map out your deadline? Would it be a week, a month, a year? How would you?
Well, it depends. It's literally case by case. So it depends on the task. So yeah, that's case by case for sure. So I mean, I guess I can say prime example, order samples. I'll probably give myself a week to do that. Because with ordering samples, that comes with research. You can't just order samples because you see something online. No, you have to do your research. You have to look at reviews. You have to reach out to people. Like literally, I'll look at reviews and I'll reach out to those accounts and say, well, how was your experience with this vendor? So doing your research for sure. That's important.
Doing your research. Okay, got you. Making sure you're in tip-top shape. All right. So now you've done your research, right? You've written down your goals. You got your deadline. You got your deadlines. What's next? How do we get our hands on the product itself? Does the design come first, or how does that go?
So I had a logo. All right. So I forgot about the damn logo part. So I mean, honestly, at any point you want to be proactive and create a logo just so you can make any touches or any edits that you want to do. So I did do I switched my logo like 3 times. Can't lie. So after you do your research, after you do that, then you want to create a logo. After that, then you want to create social media platforms. Whether you have 0 followers or not, you want to just get the word out there. Even before you have a product, get the word out there. You have to get people excited about what you're offering. And then after that, you want to build a relationship with your personal audience. So on my personal account, you want to build that relationship. So because people don't buy a product, people buy people. And that's what people fail to realize. People buy people. People like seeing the person attached to the brand, and it's just a more authentic experience, Yeah. So that's the next step. All right. What's after that?
You saying some quotes on here.
Yeah. And that's one really. It's on my vision board. People don't buy a product. People buy people. So
yeah. Okay,
that's
so
important.
But you mentioned logo, so I don't want to skip past that real quick. So real quick, where would you suggest, or did you have a logo, or did you go about doing that, or what? So
you can either find a graphic designer, or if you want to take the cheaper way out, you can go on Fiverr. You can go on Canva. Canva is your best friend. If you want to get a little bit more creative, do Canva Pro. It's $14. A month, but it's worth it. Like you can do everything through Canva. Download it, PNG, and you got your logo. Honestly, if you don't have to pay a graphic designer, don't, because you're being overcharged. You have to work smarter and not harder. So definitely use those 2 platforms, Canva, Fiverr, or do it yourself.
I'm
gonna do it yourself type of girl. So if I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, I know. Based off the Shopify story, I know. There's no wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So we got the logo, and thank you for that, by the way. But we got the logo. We got the idea. So we got the social media presence, right? We got the identifying your target audience. But what about the website? And I know obviously we talked about Shopify. So you go to Shopify.com, you create it, or is there a price? Is it free? What's that like?
So for Shopify, they give you a 14-day trial. After that, they have like different packages. I think the one I chose was like $29 a month, and you can get everything that you need with the $29 a month, because that's what I pay. Okay. So, or you can use what is the website? I think Wix. That's another good platform as well. So you start there. But let me backtrack because I did skip a step. So before you go on Shopify, you want to create a domain on GoDaddy.com. So that's going to give you full access to your website. So instead of saying Queen Athletics Fitness.shopify.com, it's just going to be Queen Athletics Fitness. That's yours. That was about, depending on the domain, it could range anywhere from $3 to $300. I paid like $3 for mine.
Is it like $3 a month or like $3 and then you have forever?
No, so it was $3 for the first year, and I think like for the second year it's probably like $14. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I got you.
But they have different plans as well. So you want to go on GoDaddy and get a domain. That's important. Because you just want a professional, clean look. So that's why I didn't want the .shopify attached to my website.
But so you
want to get your domain.
You did the GoDaddy first. The GoDaddy.com.
Yes. Yep.
And then the Shopify.
Yes. Yep. So GoDaddy, then go on Shopify.
All right. They got it.
Next step?
Yeah, next step. All right. Okay. So now we're at the Shopify stage. All right, you set it up. And you now have your brand on there, everything that you're selling on there. And then after that, let's say one of your customers or your clients makes their first purchase. What is it?
Nope. So we actually skipped a few steps.
Okay, my fault.
So, because you have a draft piece of your Shopify store, so you can edit things and it's not live yet. So honestly, what I did was I ordered samples from my vendor. I took pictures in those samples because when you're using these vendors, it could take anywhere from 30 days to 60 days. So I mean, you're just waiting. So what you want to do is you want to order a sample, take pictures in your sample. And then upload those pictures on Shopify. That's what you want to do. And then you want to input like descriptions and stuff while you're waiting for your product. Yeah,
let's tap into all three of those real quick. So how'd you go about finding your vendor? You don't got to release the source. I know that.
Oh no, I won't release the source, but I don't mind providing information. So you could either go to AliExpress, and they have vendors from China, India, wherever, or you can go on Alibaba, or you can use in-state or in the country vendor, which is a little bit more expensive. But those are the two main sources that I use. Now I ain't gonna tell you my vendor now.
Right.
Okay? But listen, if you want to start a brand, regardless of whatever it is, you can find it on there. Once again, you just have to do your research, because these people will try to scam you. They will use other pictures from other vendors. So you always want to request a sample before ordering in bulk.
Yes. So
yes.
Alibaba was the second one. What was the first one again?
AliExpress.
Okay, AliExpress.
Yes.
Alibaba. All right. So now once you get your sample, right, you take flicks and everything like that. The descriptions. How did you go about finding the right description? And obviously, something that you created, but what was your message in terms of like delivery of like what you want people to actually know about a certain piece?
Well, first I want them to know the material, because that's important, because sometimes people are allergic to certain materials. So I like to get, all the disclaimers out first, like, okay, this is what it is. I don't want anyone trying to sue me now. So that's important. Sizing is important, because I don't do any return, especially with COVID, just, for sanitary purposes. So I attach like a sizing chart to my website, just so everyone can, kind of get an idea of what they might be. So those are the two main important things that go first, and then how it's going to benefit the customer. So I have like these new corset pants that I just released last week, and it's pretty much a 2-in-1 waist trainer, because as women and men too, but more so women, we like to wear waist trainers. So I'm like, okay, well, why not do like a 2-in-1 type of thing? So you always want to make sure, how is this serving your customer or client? So those are the three main things.
Okay, got you. All right, so we getting closer and closer to someone's first
To
sale.
launch day. To launch day in your first sale.
To launch day. So, and that was nothing too. So did you announce to people that you were going to drop this before you created the store? Or did you said yes or no?
No, I did. Yep. So I didn't have no Shopify. I did have a domain, but I didn't have no Shopify because once again, fear, that little thing, fear, it will hold you back. But yep, I just announced it. And that's when I felt like, okay, I have to do this because I already announced it. So that's what really gave me the motivation to actually make my store, is announcing it and just getting the support. A lot of times people are afraid that people won't support them. And let me just say this, your support is going to come from a complete stranger. And granted, I am grateful that I do have a following and I do have, family and friends and a social media audience, but not everybody has that. So if you're afraid of getting support, it's going to come. It's going to come. So
I like that. You kind of, in a way, it's like you put pressure on yourself by saying, guys, I'm getting ready to drop this on this day, even though
had nothing.
That's a little bold. Hey, so for those of y'all listening out there, hey, maybe you want to consider doing that. But
yes, listen. What works for you works for me, but that worked for me. I didn't have no product. The product was on the way. I'm over here giving out a day. I didn't even know my product was gonna come, but I'm like, it's gonna come, and y'all gonna get.
That's crazy, but I'm not mad at it. But that takes a lot. I'm not mad at it at all. But yeah, like I said, it definitely puts pressure on you to kind of make sure that you get it done. Because if you don't, you're gonna look extra crazy.
Yes, and you don't want to let people down. So you always want to build anticipation and follow through, because you want to build trust with your audience. Because if they trust you, they trust your product. So
yeah, exactly, and it holds you accountable.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna feel after seeing this video, but
but it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now. It's out. They don't need, it's out now. It's we're good now. But so you announce it before dropping it, right? And then you drop it. Now people can go to your online store through Shopify, and whoever your first person was that purchased it, right? What happens next? And I know the notification you probably got on your phone of.
I was so excited. Yeah. I was so excited because it was literally like 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. This is like, it's real. I'm like, okay, wait, this is how, and I didn't know how to do anything. Like, literally, I didn't know how to like print out my shipping labels. I'm like, okay, like this is like trial and error for me. So I was a little bit nervous, but I was also excited at the same time.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
So all right. So you're not doing it now though, right? Just to make sure everybody knows.
Of course, yes.
Hey. I want to make sure they know before
Yes.
So is that process hard? Did you have to get like a printer? What's that like?
No, so I actually have my printer right here. I don't know if you can see it, but no, you can get like a Dymo. I do the thermal printing because it's just more cleaner on the packaging. But you get a thermal printer or a regular printer, whichever you prefer. And it's so simple. It's so simple. I wish I can show you guys how to do it now, but like I don't want to disclose anyone's information.
Yeah.
But it's so simple. You go and you press like create label. They print it out for you. You package it. You put it on, and you go to the post office.
All right, now let me ask you something though. You're saying it's simple and it's easy. I believe you. Was this another YouTube university? Was this something?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I want to, I just want to make sure everyone knows that this is all stuff.
Yeah. I went on YouTube. I typed in like how to create your first Shopify order. Like, cause I'm like, I'm not about to spend hours trying to figure this out when I could go right on YouTube. So yes, I went on YouTube, how to create your first Shopify order, and it broke it down step by step by step. So YouTube University, y'all, your biggest resource.
YouTube University, get it done, y'all. But yeah, all right. So you got your first sale, you got the notification, it's lit. Now what? Do you do the packaging and the shipping, obviously, and then like, do you wait a week until you get a certain amount of sales, or is it the minute you get a notification, you sent that one order out immediately, or how does that go?
So I try to ship them out like immediately. Like I'll wait until the end of like I don't know, maybe like a Thursday or whatever, to ship out orders on a Friday. But I try to ship, my orders out as soon as possible because I want my customer to have their product. So yes, when I get an order, it gets shipped out.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm always at the post office.
Gotcha. And again, that's a very, very good thing. All right, so we got the sale, we got the process after you get the notification, and I guess lastly, unless I'm skipping a step, let me think.
I feel like I skipped a step. I kind of didn't want to touch up on the subject, but I mean, it's a part of the process. So before you do all of that, you do want to make sure that your business is a legit business. Because I'm not a professional and I'm still learning myself. But what I did, I can only speak from my experience. I did get an EIN number from the IRS. You want to make sure that your business is registered. So pretty much that's like a social security for your business. And then after that, I created an LLC. Now they have different options. So you can either do like a LLC single member, LLC multi-member, a S Corp if you're like a bigger business, a sole proprietorship. So I chose the LLC multi-member because I did add my son. But if it's just you can just do like a single member. But I will always like consult with a legal professional before. So yes, you want to make sure that your business is legit so you can get the benefits of, taxes and tax write-offs. And if anyone tries to sue you, you just want to make sure that everything is like legit. So.
Yes. Let me clap for that real quick. Because I'm gonna have an episode at some point too talking about taxes, right?
Yes, please, because it's like, no one in my family or my immediate family like had a business. So it's like I'm literally like learning just as I go. And that's important. Just having everything, in writing and done officially. So
facts. Because we always talk about, failing forward and making sure, you take action and stuff like that, which is good. You should do that. But you also want to be careful that you don't, mess up with the IRS or with your taxes and everything like that.
Right, absolutely. And just, while we're on this subject, a lot of times people just go to the straight LLC. Yes, that is insurance for your business if you have additional assets. Because I know sometimes, like, people stay with their parents and they're like, oh, I got to get an LLC. It looks good. But, when tax time come around, you're going to be taxed as, a bigger business. So once again, consult with a legal professional. And do what's best for your situation.
Facts. Please, guys. Please, y'all. Please consult with a tax professional, please.
Yes. Stay tuned for the next episode. You're going to have to bring a tax professional.
I got you. That's going to hit.
Yes, because I'm going to be tuned right in.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, so that part, even going backwards with the whole EIN and, getting your LLC and stuff. But now, right, I think the last part I was going to say was collecting profit or the payment, right? That's all done through Shopify.
Yeah, so everything is strictly online. Like I don't do like any cash payments or anything of that. Like you have to go through the website. But Shopify analytics is to the T. Like I recommend Shopify because it breaks down everything, and the analytics is just so accurate. All you have to do is literally just like input numbers. So you can even do like Apple Pay, PayPal. You can customize your business to your liking. So I only take like a major Visa or MasterCard. I think I do Apple Pay, and I do like PayPal for now. Hopefully.
Do you ever do in-person orders? Like if someone were to hit you?
I have a pickup option.
Yeah.
But you would just need to order online first, and then come pick it up.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
So how long does that process take? I know you said that you ordered yours through Alibaba, but if someone were to have like merch of their own that they got from a vendor locally that they could just drive and pick up to, let's say, right, it's January 1st and I had all the merch or clothes that I want to sell, right? Between setting up your Shopify store on January 1st and then making your first sale, how long naturally do you think that would take in terms of the store and overall process?
Like I stated before, if you rush it, you ruin it. But you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait, because when you wait, you give yourself too much time to think, and too much time to think, okay, well, what if this doesn't go right? Do it. As soon as you got your product, do it. Even if you don't got your product like me, do it. Just do it, because if you leave yourself with that time, you're always going to second guess yourself, and you're always going to think of the negatives opposed to the positive. So I would say, if you have an idea, write down your ideas, set deadlines, and get it done. Get it done, because, time is our greatest commodity, and that's something that we can never get back. So utilize your time while you're here. If you have an idea, if you have a service, business, do it. Do it. And if you have a 9-to-5, don't feel discouraged, because we live in a society where it's like, okay, you work a 9-to-5, you're not a business owner. And it's just like you stated before, there's no right or wrong answer. Yeah. They both come with their pros and cons.
Yeah. Right.
Because I could be a business owner, but someone at the 9-to-5 is making more money than me. Like, people think, oh, because you have a business, like you're rich, no, it's not easy, because you give up, that 9-to-5 to work 25/8.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to both. We talk about pay, benefits, time,
Mm-hmm.
all that. I think you just got to make sure you pick, your specific lane.
Right. And what works best for you, not for anyone else, but for you. Because, I still have my 9-to-5, and I'm staying there right now because I know that I'm not in the position to just get up and walk away. Because people just be like, oh, quit your 9-to-5 and go. No, it's just, we got to be realistic here. Like, we still have bills, we still have responsibilities. So if you're not in the position, the financial position, or even just, the mental space to up and leave your 9-to-5, don't do it. Don't listen to society, because that's just not the reality of things.
Yeah. Heavy on the don't listen to society. Heavy on the do what's best for you. Make sure you got your stuff together. Don't try and be like anybody else. Don't think that there's a right or wrong answer. You got to do what's best, because everybody's situation is different. Everybody
right. Absolutely.
So focus on you and get it right.
Yes.
But one of the final question I have for you, it's a question that I ask all of the guests of Define Legacy, is, how do you want to be remembered?
Okay. So I want to be remembered, like, outside of my business, as, the woman who always, encourage everyone around her, whether you are a male or a female, always positive, in good spirits. And I just want to be remembered in a positive light. I don't want to be remembered for the things that I have, but who I was as a person and my character. Not even to backtrack, but to backtrack. Like, we live in a society where it's about materialistic things. I'm not that person. My main goal is, how do I serve my community? How do I serve my family? How do I serve those around me? So I always want to be remembered in a positive light. And that's going to be the case, because I'm a positive person, and I want to be remembered as that girl who go on her rants. That's what I do. You
got it. Like I said, you got it. As long as you make sure you say it on here.
Yes, listen, another one might be coming after this. It's just, what you see is what you get. And one thing about me is, I don't have to put on this perception for social media. Like, I live in my truth. I'm authentic. And I've known you since high school, since I was in middle school. I've always been this way. Yeah. So, it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
That's
real. It's real.
Advice is just be your authentic self. Be your authentic self.
Yeah. Damn. So I hope someone hears that and, changes their ways in terms of, like, just be who you are. Don't try and be, this alter ego for somebody else. But if you could, can you please drop your socials of your business, your personal, your website, where people can buy your product, all that if you can.
Okay. Well, my social media for my business, that is Queen Athletics Fitness. And you can purchase merchandise on www.queenathletics.co. Not .com, but .co. And my personal social media, I think it's b.van Allen. Is it underscore? I don't know.
You're asking me. I believe it's a period. I believe it's a dot.
It's b.van Allen underscore. If not, it's B. If you just type in B.
I'll write it in the description.
Yeah.
Tag her, but
I don't think there's another Brittany Van Allen but me.
There you go. Then.
So that's where you guys can find me. I don't bite, I'm always open to have conversations about business, motherhood, whatever. My inbox is always open. Just don't try to come in and talk to me because I just I don't do all that.
Business only. Heard it. Business only.
Keep it professional.
Yes. So is there anything else that either you want to say or let our audience know, just in general, whether it be about business yourself or anything like that? Any final words?
Yep. As I said it before, be your authentic self. Be who you are. Stay true to yourself and trust in God. Without me building my spiritual relationships with God, none of this would be possible at all. So that's number one for me, is put God first, and everything else will fall into place.
That's real. That's a perfect way to conclude this episode.
Yes.
Again, we have Miss Brittany Van Allen.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing, and I am definitely going to be here to support. So.
Absolutely. Well, I and everyone else, we definitely appreciate you for coming on the show. Definitely.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.